Hello, everyone. This is Scott with Canoe Nation here. I've got a bit of stuff to go over here, but before we do, could you please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you keep up to date with what's going on and share this video? Thank you. So, the biggest thing for a lot of people, and the reason why it's still sore for a lot of First Nations with Residential School Act and all that stuff, because like the last one just closed down like 30 years ago. So when people say it's so easy to forget, it's really not. However, as a people, we still need to move forward in order for us to be able to prosper. We don't have to always forgive for their sake, but forgiving for our sake is what will actually help us heal as a people. Now, I don't start that off for no reason, but I just wanted to put that out there that we need to heal as a people and we need to accept others as a people. All our prophecies talk about for us to have a thriving nation. All four main tribes or nations have to come together in order for that to be happening. So, anyone who's born here is a native born Canadian. Anyone who's First Nations, First Nations, anyone who is Métis, Inuit, stuff like that, we all fall under Indigenous Canadians, which is pretty cool. This is what I mean by coming together as one people. It makes a huge difference. And as Canoe Nation became a nation with its 250th signature at 10:30 p.m. on January 21st, 2022. That's pretty huge. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to have a Canoe Nation Day on that because that's probably going to be a pretty cool day. I'm sure we could celebrate it one day and then maybe have like a celebration during the summer like every other country does, even though that really wasn't their full independence, so to speak. As well as we're also in the middle of elections. Now I know it might seem weird because there's people that have come to me and said, "Okay, Scott, I'd like to be put in a position." I said, "Okay, sure, let's let people elect you in." There's no at this point. There's no point even having someone run against them. We got 38 other spots because we got the general council, legal council, spiritual council, and we have the recreational council. So there's lots of spots available, as well as many more spots in the grand council as well. We're also going to need spots eventually for regional councils if we have two or more communities, which is nice. So we have many plans on different things. We have plans to protect our people, and we're under constitutions. So we're a nation by constitution, not by corporation, which makes it different. Yes, we do have non-for-profits that will support us around us, but they're not the main organization. And yes, we've been recognized by the federal government, even if it's just a tax man. I know it's not much to brag about, but it kind of pushes the rest of them all like, well, if you can do that there, then we need to figure out how to do this, right? And so, yeah, it's a bit of a struggle still with that, but that's okay. If we can, as long as they recognize that we exist, that's all that really matters, and that's what we did, right? We didn't need to register with them or anything like that. So, yeah, there's a lot of different things we'll be doing. We'll be making progress. We're mass producing food in greenhouses. And I've had some people that are from there like, wait, Scott, it's not flat up there. Well, yeah, no, of course it's not flat. Nothing's flat. Okay, well, maybe in some parts of Saskatchewan, not all parts. You try to take Highway 5, it is very hilly, right? It's like almost foothills going across Saskatchewan, which is pretty interesting. So whenever someone says Saskatchewan's flat, hasn't been to Edmonton. Now I'm out of Lanigan, Saskatchewan, so I grew up in Edmonton, and it wasn't a bad place when we started, but then it ended up turning into like gang warfare. So we were taught to hit the ground when we heard tires screeching or saw lasers pointing. So it was when someone says, I don't know what it's like to grow up on a res, and they're partially right. But when I go to the res, it reminds me of my childhood. Not completely, obviously, there was differences, but there was a lot of similarities, eh? And everyone's experience is different. I may be a First Nations that didn't grow up on a res, but it's still, I still represent my people as a whole. And for us to come together is what's going to make things a huge difference. A huge, huge difference. And this is how we're going to thrive as a people, is by building and rebuilding what we has been taken away. So for all those who don't know the story, and I've said this many times in videos, during World War II, uh, the Saskatchewan with the federal government removed 5 First Nations community. One was in where Uranium City sits, and 4 others were on the south side of Lake Athabasca. They removed them because they wanted to mine uranium or other precious resources. And instead of working with the communities, providing jobs, everything, because back then they were concentration camps. The Germans learned that from us, and that's not good. Well, not from me personally, but from the British traditional system we call a Canadian government, which still isn't Canadian, but anyways, that's a whole different part. We know that the whole thing's falling apart here. Even if you don't want to come to terms with it, you know it in your bones, you feel it. And yes, as much as you want to tell yourself everything is going to be just okay, you know that it isn't, unfortunately. And that's why. And we have a lot of people joining because they know that nothing's going to be fine. And the biggest problem of their agenda, now they've been behind a lot on stuff, is the food shortage. Now, food shortage is the biggest thing because you don't have food to feed your people. Well, they're going to start attacking each other, and that's what they're hoping for, right? To reduce the population. What they don't realize is that, and we learned this from what happened when the Soviet Union fell. A lot, no leader from there pretty much got to live. They starved. Their people started starving. They went and hid in bunkers. Half were done in by their own people, their security, and the other half were done in by the people itself. And then Vlad brought the whole thing back. I mean, it's amazing that Russia's still a nation, eh? It could have been broken up in a whole bunch of different countries, right? And so whether you like the guy or not, he brought his whole nation back. You can see why he's a little testy when people who are not from his country want to just destroy it, right? Either way, we have a lot of stuff we're moving forward with, and we've put through a lot of different things in our Constitution to prevent future corruption. Now, as I say this, anyone who is from other nations or been Canadian but weren't born here, there is exceptions to joining for at least first couple of years if you have exceptional skills or other stuff, right? Or if you're born under 15 somewhere else, because at 16 you can go make your own choices, right? You could stay where you're at, and most of the time you still go with family, and I get that. Family is, everything, right? But you don't have a choice under the age of 15 in most countries, right? Sorry, someone keeps messaging me on Facebook here while I chat with you here. So, anyways, I just wanted to point out the basics and the obvious. We are moving forward. Hopefully, with the next week or two, we finish with a contract with this other mining company. Don't want to say who. And those funds will go to Canoe Nation in order for us to thrive, which would be pretty awesome. This other company, too, is wanting to possibly donate money to help us build schools, help us if we need a new water treatment, and we'll see what else, right? I think that's pretty awesome, as well as not just for us, other communities up there as well. Our liberal government tends to think that we need them. We don't. We need cooperation with real people, real companies that want to help and make a difference, provide work up there, and that's what we need. We don't need the government the way that it's said. And I know they're probably going to censor this video because of it, but anyways, please subscribe and share this video out, and may the Creator be with you, and may God bless you all.